All right, well, welcome to the 30s Comedy Podcast with your hosts, Clinton McKay.
Uncle Marcus.
And Uncle Marcus. Hey, Uncle Marcus, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing good?
Yeah.
You look a little like you're in a different place. What's going on? Welcome to the Hits 101 Radio Studio.
Yeah, we're recording out of a new studio today.
Because we went through a breakup. It's kind of fresh.
A mutual breakup.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it wasn't a mutual breakup. It was a one-sided breakup.
It was one-sided. We were
if you've
committed.
ever been in one of those, which I think most of us have, it sucks.
Yeah. You just feel so powerless.
Yeah, I think at the end of the last one we talked about it, about how that would be the last time there, and we resolved to keep going.
Yeah.
We're still going.
Yeah.
Only in a new spot.
But lots of love to producer Daniel.
Yes. Again, thank you, producer Daniel, getting us started and getting us our first place.
Yeah. But now thanks to my old buddy Caesar, we're here in Orange County.
Yeah.
Hits 101 Radio, and it looks real nice.
Yeah. This is cool. This is a cool spot.
Looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
But what did you do during the breakup? Last 2 weeks.
I got sick during the breakup.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, for a good portion of that. It's one of those things where it's like, if you're sick nowadays, you have to be like, is this COVID or am I just sick?
Am I just
and it's
disgusting or?
Yeah. And it's like, do I want to go get a test taken? And then just to say yes. And even if it does say yes, you just have to wait it out anyways. So they're not going to give you anything unless you're, you need to be in the hospital. So it was one of those where it's just like, I don't feel good. And then that took up most of the time of our break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been up to much. What have you been up to?
I was trying to avoid spending money, but then I got a pretty nice case settlement from my old job.
Oh, you got a case? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about your case.
Which was basically enough money.
Tell me what you can say and what you can't say.
Well, it was from Warner Brothers.
Okay. And is it a class action lawsuit?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, so
it was enough to where I think everyone in the company got
all of Warner Brothers?
I think everybody did.
All of Warner Brothers or the tour team?
I think maybe just the tour department because
that's a lot of people.
Yeah, because if you were gonna ask me under the court of law, like, how are your work situations? Like, did you ever feel like you couldn't manage there, or like it was tough? I'd be like, well, yeah. There's plenty of times like that.
Yeah.
So thank you. It makes me feel better about not working for a month.
Yeah.
So thanks, WB.
Yeah.
But then do you want to talk about the drama with your telling them you might have had COVID and then you didn't have COVID and then they're like, wait, do you have COVID?
Yeah. So I don't really, it's the company that I work for can be retaliatory at times. So
yeah, they'll attack.
And I did some fuckery. So I don't want to put it out there, but I had to deal with HR and it was a nightmare. So I don't know. Have you ever had to deal with the HR department?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I had. Well, I had a moment where like something I said ended up getting like the whole department in trouble. That was rough.
What would you say?
Well, I was misquoted first.
Okay.
Because I was driving and I was talking about the Warner Brothers. So maybe that was.
So you were doing a tour.
Bad thing. Yeah, I was doing a tour, and I was talking about how like Jack Warner, who is the brother who helped produce the most. He didn't go fight in the war, but he put his name on the World War II plaque and like the spot, like as if he did.
Okay. And
so they heard that and they thought I said, someone on the tour said like Jack Warner didn't do anything for the war, but he did so much. And he did. They made a lot of movies here.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like with COVID, how there's all these like actors telling you to like be safe and stuff while they're off like making a movie.
So if you're on those tours and you make up something or you misquote some kind of fact, they follow up on that?
If it's me, I guess.
How would they know?
If it's kind of big. Well, because people are listening sometimes, or they're like at lunch, or they're walking by, or it's Ellen DeGeneres.
you see Ellen DeGeneres walk by and you're like, you just...
And you call her Ellen DeGeneres, and she's like,
You just like, hey guys, she's actually not a lesbian. She's made all that up for publicity.
pretty
She's
straight.
right next to
Yeah,
the
she's
tour.
pretty straight. We hooked up last week. I don't get this.
I guess that makes sense. I didn't really notice that they can hear you outside of those buggies, but I guess buggies.
Yeah.
Are they called buggies? What are they called? Tram cars?
Carts.
Carts. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Oh, speaking of WB, I'm sure you heard this in the tour.
Mm-hmm.
They saw Ben Affleck
Yeah.
come out of one of the Friends set, and Jason Momoa was there and was like, "Well, you guys saw we're filming Aquaman, and
That's how it
sorry.
works too, because they're doing reshoots.
oh, were they?
Yeah.
So he's probably only going to be in it for that one scene then.
Yeah, and if I was doing the tour and I knew that Aquaman was doing reshoots, I'd be
You'd
like,
drive by that
we're
set?
gonna go buy this set.
They let you do that?
Yeah, well, if they're inside, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
You just can't be loud if the red light's blinking.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
wig.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, but that's the stuff that happens. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You know, like that would be me. Like if I was the tour guide.
But the thing
I'd
is,
be
even
kinda
if they
in
saw
trouble.
that, you still don't have to say anything because
Mm-hmm.
what are a cart of a bunch of people? They don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
They
if
went to
anything, they
tourists went
might.
by. Like if you don't
leak
work,
it.
if you don't work in production at all, and you see actors on set, like you don't know the shooting schedules,
Yeah,
so you could be there just walking around for something else. I don't think that.
which happens a lot.
Yeah, I don't think Jason Momoa had to get his phone out because I saw his Instagram.
Yeah, I think he
like,
messed
got his
up.
phone out. And was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, everybody!" Like
That was
he's in
him.
the movie.
That was
Yeah,
definitely him.
he
He screwed
definitely
up.
leaked it.
Yeah, he took a buddy photo with him.
Yeah, I think if I had
A
saw
selfie.
if I had seen him backstage, I wouldn't have thought. I thought maybe he's just here doing something else and
Yeah.
walked over to say hi or something. And I mean, I know some stuff about production a lot, and I wouldn't have thought that they're. 'Cause I don't even know the shooting schedule for Aquaman anyway, but I didn't know if it was still shooting.
I'm just
or not.
surprised these movies are still happening. I can't believe how like pathetic the DC movie lineup is.
I don't know what it is. I
Especially
just know the Rock.
The lineup is Shazam 2 and Black Adam. And that's
But they're
it.
not connected.
that was all-
They're not.
Not yet.
Yeah, so stupid.
So dumb.
Isn't he a Shazam villain?
Yeah,
Black
he's
Adam?
like his main.
Cool.
I guess it's not gonna happen.
Not in the movies.
Good lord.
Yeah. That actually, because I went to Comic-Con.
Yeah, that was the news at Comic-Con. So please tell me about your time there.
So I wasn't there for the Marvel Day, the big
yeah.
Marvel DC Day. That was my first Comic-Con experience. I'm wearing the hat.
Oh, there it is. There it
And the
is.
shirt. The
Get
shirt's
it?
from 2016. They gave me an old shirt.
That's the year I went.
Yeah, I
that's weird.
bought a shirt for this year's Comic-Con, and they threw this in as
Yeah.
like we're trying to clean out the warehouses.
Yeah,
so
they
here you go
Yeah.
for free. But it was cool. That was my first Comic-Con. I've done other cons, and it wasn't as crowded as I thought it was going to be. I think because it's post-COVID, people still might be a little scared. But also, it was the first day, and nothing big happened on that first day. There was like all the Hall H stuff or all the big announcements. Those happen on Fridays and Saturdays. It was cool though. There were so many vendors there. Like I didn't expect the show floor to be that big. I've seen pictures before, and you can't ever tell the scale. And I'd never been inside that building, the convention center. And then when we walked in on the very, like not very middle, but pretty close to the middle. And so I just kind of like looked left and right and was like, oh, fuck, like there's a lot of shit in here. And it was kind of overwhelming at first because I didn't know where to go. And I was like, let's just walk to the very end and then just go up and down each one. And it took a couple hours to do that.
Damn.
We actually took a break halfway through. Like, got back to the halfway point, took a break to go get something to eat and like chill out and then come back and do it later with a little bit of a buzz, which was more fun. But yeah, it was cool though. I saw a lot of cool artists in there, like smaller artists that just makes their own shit and sell it on Etsy or whatever, or their own shops. They have their booths there. That was pretty cool. One thing that I was very surprised and happy to see there was that there was like a big anime and manga element at Comic-Con, which I didn't know that they did that. I know they had like some kind of presence there usually, But they had like a whole like big section dedicated to with like Viz Media and Bandai Namco and Square Enix and like a lot of like Eastern stuff, which I'm really into that stuff. So I had a lot of fun there. Yeah, it was a cool experience. If you've ever been to that part of San Diego in the Gaslamp corridor, like there's a lot of cool shit to do there.
Hell yeah.
Outside of Comic-Con, all the bars and venues and stuff. And I think next year I'm gonna try and go for one of those big days because I just couldn't get a ticket for one of those this year. Hopefully I can get one next year because it'd be cool to be in Hall H, especially. I don't care if I'm in the back or wherever, just to feel like the explosion in the room.
Yeah,
because you see the footage, the leaked footage too online, and you're just like, this room is on fire. Like everyone's just screaming.
Yeah, the whole time I was on Twitter. Twitter was pretty good at being live and updating the whole entire time.
Right.
So I had friends ask like, "Oh, are you in there?" No,
it's all
on Twitter, dude.
It's all on fire. And then not only the companies like Marvel, whatever, they're releasing a lot of stuff like right when they say it in Hall H, but then people that were covering it that had access to their phones were in there too, and they were like, "Oh, something just popped on screen. This was popped on screen. Blah blah blah." And then for like, I saw the leaked stuff. I saw the leaked trailer for Guardians, the entire thing.
The whole thing?
Yes. It was
I still couldn't find the whole thing.
Right when it was done, it was already up, and then it was gone. Like, I went to go back to watch it like 6 minutes after I saw it, and it was gone. It got taken down.
Yeah, because I can't believe the only leaked footage is like the baby Rocket Raccoon.
Like 3 seconds or something.
Couldn't even get Adam Warlock?
No.
God damn.
So I saw that, and it was pretty cool. And then I saw Ant-Man. They saw that leaked footage. It didn't really look like a trailer. It was just like a cut something.
Yeah.
And just not the trailer, but just like the room in there. Everyone's just like screaming and yelling. And because I used to do that at D23. I would go, they had their big presentation, and they also do like a Marvel thing there too. And like, it's a lot of fun. And like, even if you're not in, like, one girl in our group wasn't like, she's into Star Wars, but not Marvel really, but she was with us for the Star Wars element. And she was saying like, even when they talked about their Marvel shit at D23, she was like, oh my God, like you just get a high off of the energy in the room. So I think next year I'm going to try and do that. Hopefully I can get in.
That'd be sick. Yeah. Just camp out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you have to camp out because they had the line set up for Hall H. But nobody was in it because we left at the end of that first day, and they had a Hall H presentation on Friday. I think that was a Star Wars day, but there was nobody in it yet. So I don't know if they just, I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe there's a raffle or something.
Yeah. I just remember when I went and I worked my friend's toy booth that there were little campsites.
And that was pre-pandemic, so it was probably
is
the wilder experience. Yeah, because they had like restrictions this time, but nobody was following them. Yeah, it was like the masks. We had to wear the masks. Nobody cared. Some people cared, and they would like tell you to put a mask on, but others were like, just whatever. How do you police that many people to put on a mask?
I don't know.
Especially when they're all just bumping into each other in crowds, and you're just kind of like, it's like soup in there.
You're soup. Yeah. I feel like I'm in a stew.
Yeah.
I can't get out of here.
It was fun though. Found this rooftop bar on top of the Marriott. Had some pretty amazing views. You'd see Coronado. It was right next to Petco Park.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's sick.
I'm going to be there again in September to see Tom Segura.
Oof. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Tommy boy.
Tom.
I do want to, I feel like we should go to the Comedy Store soon because Bert Kreischer's been jumping in.
They've all been there.
They've
been doing pop-ins too.
Yeah.
It's just like, because they're not on the lineup and you're just like, what are you doing? And it sucks because they don't release, sometimes they release the lineups a couple days early. Sometimes it's day of.
Yeah.
And so like, by the time they release it, like, I don't know if I want to like go out tonight because they'll release it at like 3 or 4. And if you're old like I am, if you're not out after then, if you're not already out by then, it's kind of like, if I want to.
Speaking of being old, I think what I want to talk about
Okay.
30s related is anxiety in your 30s.
Okay.
Because I feel for me personally, I've had more fights with anxiety than I did in my 20s.
Okay.
And sometimes I feel like I'm pretty good about it, like good about dealing with it. And then other times I feel like I'm like a wuss and it just takes me over.
So I don't really know. When people say anxiety, I feel like it's a broad term. It's such a huge spectrum because I don't really understand it. Like
well, like for me, because I just got done with a teaching class for my master's, and the whole time it was like, oh, should I even do this project? Like, I'm gonna fail this project. Like, the teacher doesn't even like talk to me. It doesn't make herself available. I never get like a moment to be like, is this right? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
What is going on? And then I do. It's like, and then I spiral a bit, and I get into like this like, oh, I can't do anything right kind of thing. So that's kind of like where my anxiety goes. It just kind of like spirals off into this thing, and then I have to pull myself out of it and go, wait a minute, but I am good at stuff.
Yeah. So
I do things.
It's just like you just don't feel good about yourself.
Kind of? Oh yeah, like I'm the worst.
Okay.
Like,
oh.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't get any of that. Like you don't get any kind of like oh, that was like, why did I do this? Or
I guess I never really thought that was anxiety. I thought that was just kind of reflecting on what you're doing. I don't know, because when I hear about anxiety, I've had it was told to me an anxiety attack before, where I thought I was having a panic attack. It was just one of those things like you can't breathe and like everything starts to kind of close in. It was when I was at work one time and I got really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So it was one of those. And someone said it just sounds like you're having an anxiety attack. So I was like, oh, so that's what anxiety is when people say that. But like what you just said, and I'm not a doctor, or am I? It just sounds like you're just reflecting on your actions and you just like, oh, I could have done that differently, or I could be a little bit better at doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like my problem is usually delegating stuff. Like I'll push stuff off.
Yeah.
Or I'll push it off because I'm afraid of it. Like, oh, that looks too hard. I'm going to do that later.
Okay.
But then,
you think that has to do with being in your 30s?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't care as much when I was in my 20s. People still probably feel that like when they're younger, but now it's like more intense.
It hits you more now.
Yeah. It's like, ugh, I have no money. Ugh, no one likes me. Ugh, I'm so alone. But it's also just the time of my life right now.
Yeah.
I used to be surrounded by hundreds of just coworkers.
Hundreds of
just people that work at the place. And then not even talk about like the guests that come in, you know? So I had a lot of time to like distract from
being around
myself
people.
And be with people. And I love that.
Yeah.
Like today, I worked today. I taught some fourth graders.
That's kind of the age where you can talk to them a little bit.
Yeah, they're a good class. They're so well behaved to where it was almost a problem, because once I had a question, I had like 30 little 10-year-olds come up and be like, Mr. McKay, I know what to do. Yeah, you're like, hey, whoa,
you have that thought of like, am I being a good teacher? Everyone's doing their work. Nobody's fighting. But that can't be it. No.
What? No, I gotta mess this up somehow. And then you start singing, we don't talk about Bruno.
Just start saying like poop, fart.
Yeah. And they're like, ah! But today, because it was at a new school that I haven't been at, so I got there pretty early.
Okay.
And this school, it's on the track system, so they're like, there's always someone there.
Yeah. I did that when I was in 6th grade.
Oh, you did? Did you like that?
Yeah, it was cool because I was on track 1 or 4. It was one of the ones that starts right away. So I was in school in the summer, and then you have like a month off.
Yeah.
You're there for like, I don't remember how much it was, but you're there for a couple of months, and then you're off for an entire month, and then you do it again, and then I think you're off another month, and then you come back one more time, and then it's the next year. And that was the last year I was in elementary school then, so I got the summer to go into. I actually got, I believe it was like an extra month at the start of summer, so I didn't go to school for like 3 months, and then I went in 7th grade. And I remember coming into it, like, because I had lived in another city, and when I was told, like, oh, you're gonna be going to school like in 2 weeks after summer, I was like, I already didn't want to move to the new city because I left all my friends. We didn't have Cartoon Network, which I watched a lot of Cartoon Network.
Damn.
And then it's like, oh, you're going to be in school in 2 weeks. And it's like, this is the worst. Like, you know, when you're a kid and you think like that's the absolute worst thing that's ever going to happen to you. And then you get older and you're like, oh, you're a little bitch.
Yeah.
But I think once I was in it and then afterwards, it was kind of nice because I lived right next to the school because I went to school down the street, Eagle Canyon. And you would see kids going to school and you're just like on your bike riding by them.
Yeah.
And I remember liking it in the end, but before going into it, I thought it was whack.
Yeah. These kids, this was their Friday, their minimum day, going into another break.
Okay.
So they started school. It was like their first 3 weeks of school.
There's untethered then.
Yeah.
No
they were like
them.
ready to just go crazy.
Yeah.
And I get there super early. The parking lot was like a 200 car parking lot. Oh. And so I cruised down first to be like, are those spots I could park in? And I did like a whole loop, like a little loop. And I came back and I parked kind of far away.
Yeah.
But close enough to where it's like, oh, I could get out of here once it goes.
Okay.
But then, so now I'm like one of the only cars out there. And this other car comes up. And it comes like right by me. And so already I'm like, oh, God, they're going to park right by me. And I'm like, what? Why? Why are they right? Why? Okay. But then it's like, because then when cars park next to you, it makes you feel squirmy. Like it feels like someone's like elbow to elbow with me.
Especially when there's plenty of spots.
So many. There's 200
surrounded
spots.
in an empty parking lot. Someone parks right next to you. Yeah. They're a psycho.
And it was not even that they're going to park next to me. It's like this. It's this mom who is going to like try to back into the spot, who probably doesn't do it often. So it's the weird thing where you're sitting there, you're like waiting on your phone and you look to the side and you see this car having to keep trying like 5 times to like back up into it.
Yeah.
Just so them and their little like 3rd grader can.
So that would mean that
there.
Were they to the left of you so that when they finally got in, you're right next to them?
Oh, yeah.
It's driver's seat to driver's seat.
Yeah.
If that happened to me, I would have just stared directly at the car. Make eye contact and make it awkward for this. You said it was a lady, right? And make it awkward for her. But that actually brings me to something interesting about types of people. And I heard this somewhere else. It might have been on another podcast, but you know, like sometimes you categorize people into types. Like, oh, there's 2 types of people. There's this and there's this. So someone brought this up because I feel this way too. Is there's types of people that when they park their car, they sit in their car, or they park the car and then they get out and go do their thing. Because all the time when I park for work, it's a big parking lot, and I'll park in my car and I look around and there's people just sitting in their cars. Like, what are you doing? Why are you just sitting? You're here this is the destination.
Yeah.
To get out of the car. You could have left 5 minutes later from your house, or 10 minutes, how long you're going to be in your car, and be doing something else. But you chose to leave early and just sit in your car. That's psychotic.
Yeah.
So like now, I just said it, but 2 categories of people that sit in their car, or they just park and get out and go do why they're there. I am park and get out and go do why I parked there.
Get after it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What am I going to sit in the car for? Like I don't need to prepare to like get out of the car or just sit on my phone. No. Go out and get your shit done while you got there.
Yeah.
Which one are you?
I like to just get to the place.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes I have to use the bathroom anyways.
Oh, okay.
At some point.
Yeah.
I like to be prepared.
Yeah.
So I like to go in and see the location and then maybe chill somewhere.
Yeah. Even if I'm there early, I still have to get out of the car and go inside. Because there was another occasion where it was a work thing, and I parked next to 2 other cars. The lot was like relatively full, so you're gonna park next to somebody. I parked next to 2 other cars, and I got out and like I put on my work shoes and I walked into work. I just wore flip flops and put on my work shoes when I get there. And 2 people who was working with me, same shift, same everything. They came in like 5 minutes after I did. They're like, they were both in the 2 cars right next to me. I'm like, oh, we saw you in the parking lot. It's like, oh, like, well, you didn't say hi? And I'm like, no. Like, well, where were you? Like, we were in the cars right next to you. And I was like, so you both were in each car? Like, and they are exes, like, full disclosure, but they're still like,
Ooh.
They're friends, they still talk to each other and stuff. And so
they're in their own cars or the same car?
They're in 2 different cars.
Oh, but they park right by each other?
Yeah, I think just like how I did, it just kind of worked out that way because the aisle that we were in was like, it was like filling up this way. So I parked one parked and then the other parked and I parked right next to them. And I was like, you guys are just sitting in there. Like you guys watched me put on my shoes out there and just didn't say anything or didn't decide to, because if I did that, I'd be like, I'll get out walking with somebody if they're already here. It's like, no, they watched me put my shoes on and then waited 5 minutes and then walked into work together.
So when you got into the parking lot, was there someone telling you where to park, or you just got there?
I just happened. That's how it worked.
And then they just decided to like park next to each other.
Yeah, and I didn't know their cars. I don't know them that well.
Oh,
so I didn't know. Like if I saw your car, I'd be like, oh, that's Clint's car. I'll park right next to him. But I just happened to park next to them. Like, you guys watched me put my shoes on. You watched me put my shoes on. Didn't even like you're just sitting there watching.
Ugh.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
I'm stuck on like the exes park by each other thing. Like, are they
were
good
exes
friends?
A couple years ago.
Oh,
They're over it. They're not. It wasn't like a bad breakup. It's just one of the ones that didn't work out.
And they all work in the same location as you.
They work in the same spot. Yeah.
Same. God.
Yeah, that'll tell me about everybody at where I work. All kind of sleeps around. But that's because you're around these people all day, 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. So they're like most workplaces, people do that. That's how you meet people.
Yeah. I used to, because now it's like, what am I going to do? Date a principal?
Oh, another teacher?
Teacher? Like, maybe. Yeah. That might be it.
That's not uncommon.
But it's different. It's different than like...
That's how you meet
like
people
Disney
today,
and Warner Brothers, where it's like a plethora.
Yeah, revolving door.
Revolving door of people. Where like, I don't like this type. Switch.
Always coming and going.
Switch.
Of all ages and... levels of attractiveness.
Every type.
Depending on your tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's common for most work. Because how else are you going to meet people today? You can't just can't just go out to a bar and like go up to somebody.
Yeah.
It'll be like, do I have your permission to talk to you? Is that okay?
Yeah. Like, and I still don't do the apps. I can't do the apps.
No.
I can't do apps. There's no... I just don't think it.
I don't believe you should be going shopping for, a partner. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's just funny because like every girl will put like, I want a guy who makes me laugh. And I'm like, well,
wait a minute. What was that accent?
I want a guy who makes me laugh.
That's not how it sounded before.
Playback.
Okay.
No, that was the.
Yes.
That's Latino voice. No, maybe it was.
That's what I thought.
I don't know.
I just wanted you to say.
Want a guy who makes me laugh. Then there's the other voice this is the voice I hear in my head when I'm reading like a post. I just don't understand why they don't understand pronouns. I'm just like
the kind of
we don't approve.
Pandering is not the right word, but they're like I don't know.
The virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at me and I reposted this.
Yeah, it's like, shut up.
Ugh.
Who cares?
No one cares.
Yeah, no one's listening to you.
Yeah, and I'm only looking at your post because I've been tapping through like the past 5 faces up at the top of the stories.
Yeah.
That's about it.
With people like that are at least self-righteous. It's like, tell them, nobody cares about you. No one's going home thinking about... Wonder what Susie's opinion is about pronouns. Like nobody cares.
Oh, let me know.
Yeah,
I gotta know.
It's dumb.
Speaking
of pronouns,
yes.
We can just kind of gloss over this, but Speaking of stand-up, we'll go back to stand-up.
Stand up.
Will Smith apologized.
Ooh, okay.
3 months.
Okay, so
3 months after he slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
so what did he say?
I didn't watch the video. I read an article about it, and he's just basically just said sorry. But it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's dumb. You know, it's 3 months ago. Because you said that Chris Rock was making jokes about it on stage.
Just more recently.
Yeah, because
like this week.
Okay. Oh, that must be why he apologized then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
now he's able to talk about it.
Right.
Because Chris Rock said something like, for anybody who says that words don't hurt, they hurt.
Yeah.
They're like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's good. It worked out for him.
Yeah.
I know, like, right when
good.
it happened, there was kind of a divide. We're like, oh, we should get safety on stage. And like, it's like, no, him slapping Chris Rock just sold out his tour dates if they weren't already sold out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are going to see that and be like, not only does it bring attention to Chris Rock, but it's like, I don't know, just let's go watch the show and see what he says about it.
Yeah,
he's gonna inevitably talk about it as part of his set or his act. That's probably gonna be worked into his act in a different way for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Will Smith, or just being slapped in the face. He gave him so much material, and everybody saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, you know, you shouldn't be apologizing to Chris Rock. I mean, saying you're welcome. Not that Chris Rock needed to get, his shows are probably already sold out anyway.
He was probably fine.
Close to being sold out. But yeah, there was some comedians who were like where was security? Or like, there's going to be security other places. It's like, why would you put security at the Oscars? Nobody thinks someone's going to jump up on stage and slap another presenter.
Yeah, I guess
random.
I guess now it's going to be around.
Maybe. Just imagine if there was a security guard that tackled Will Smith and they started walking up there. That'd be even better for ratings.
That'd be a funny character to play. Hey, I'm the Oscars security guard.
Yeah.
So I'm just
what
here.
would he look like?
I'm here to stop any iconic, strange physical activity
He'd have
on the
to be
Oscars stage.
He'd have to be in a suit. He'd have to look like Secret Service.
Yeah.
He couldn't just be like the security at the clubs.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, you can't get by.
yeah.
What's your name again? Will Smythe? Nope, you're not on the list.
Yeah. Smythe.
Smythe? I don't know you. Do I know you from anywhere? And it's like someone who's been at the Oscars for the first time.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I totally made this great thing for all diversity. I'm going to win all the awards. Who are you? I don't know who you are. You're going with me.
Oh.
You're getting off the stage.
Having to deal with them. Because security already sometimes is kind of a bitch to deal with because they just have no nonsense. Some of them are chill, but they'll like, sometimes when they check your ID, which doesn't happen to me anymore. But I remember used to, because when I had like my old picture, they'd like look at it and look at you and they do like they don't think that it's you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, can I just get into the club? Like, I'm not here to start trouble. Imagine having that guy at the Oscars and having to like screen people when they walked in.
Ooh, I have a story of
that should be a sketch.
That's a sketch. Write that down. Write down as I say this next thing, because I was with so me and our friend Skylar have been hanging out with our friends Rafi and Justin. Who Rafi is
this any part of the story going to get me in trouble?
No.
Okay. Or any kind of backlash?
No.
Okay.
It's just about a 20-year-old trying to use an ID to get into a bowling alley.
20?
Bowling alley bar, yeah.
Not 21.
So he has this sister.
Oh God.
Who
is trans?
No. She's trans. She's them. She goes by Oshkosh.
Oh God.
Oshkosh Bagosh is coming by. No, what?
Keep going.
No, so what happened was she got stopped.
And she's 20.
20. So she's 20 using like her cousin's ID. So that was not a good idea.
Okay.
And he asks her, what's that address? Where do you live? Mm-hmm. And she was like, I don't remember. And so he denied her.
Man, nobody told her? Did you guys know she did not have an ID?
I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go in.
Oh, I would have told. I mean,
if she can't go in, I guess they're gonna just
wait in
bowl.
the car. Yeah.
Yeah. Just wait in the car.
I would have, if it was a friend, because I've never used a fake ID, but I've been with people who have back when we were that age.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, if you're going to do it, make sure you know the address, make sure you know what the hair color is, eye color is.
Yeah.
You know, if they ask you to do the signature, like try and replicate the signature that's on there. It doesn't have to be exact. Like, I would have told this person that if they were a friend and if I knew they were trying to get him with the fakie. And then if it didn't work, then whatever, you can wait outside. But
yeah, I was just like, it's your sister, dude.
You have a phone, you can call an Uber, you can get back home.
Yeah. That just seems so stressful.
It's just dumb to get into a bowling alley.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Not even try and get into a bar or a club.
Want to go bowling? The bar at the bowling alley.
Oh. Well then.
The bowling bar.
The bowling bar.
The bowling bar. We're here, your family.
Oof.
Get a lane and a 6-pack.
Yeah, some clown shoes.
And some clown shoes. All for $44.45.
They spray stuff into. They don't actually clean them.
I wouldn't.
Do they still do that?
I haven't been to
a bowling alley in years.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't bowl that day.
Okay. Yeah, they make you wear the shoes and they just bug spray them afterwards or whatever that spray is. Disgusting.
Real bowlers buy their own shoes.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Real Bowlers.
Buy their own balls.
They carry around their own balls.
3 fingers.
3 fingers.
One in each hole.
Oh my god. Let's see. So IDs. Where were we at before that? Let's go back to. Let's see. So we have Tom Segura soon.
Chris Stefano is next month. Actually,
Chris
that's in like
Stefano.
2 weeks.
Oh my! Is it in
17th? So
3 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! You're gonna meet him.
Well, you're gonna meet him too.
I'm gonna meet him. What are we gonna say to him?
I'm gonna meet him, not you.
How are we gonna do this?
I don't know. Just natural conversation.
Oh, what would you want to ask him?
That's what I did with Annie when I was just like, big fan. $20 holla.
Yeah, but she sort of remembered you.
Yeah,
she did. It worked out.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with Chris.
Yeah.
Just do the same thing, I guess. Just be like, I'm a big fan. Yes. How's TT Jerry? If TT Jerry's not there, Homeless Pimp, are you over here? Like, I'll just make it known that I am a fan of him and his stuff, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What else can you do? The meet and greets, like meet and greets are hard because it's like you don't want to be weird, and also there's a line of people waiting to come meet you.
Meet and greet is a weird thing.
Yeah, where it's like it's like they're there to say hi to you and just acknowledge your. It's different for like comedians than it is maybe for like a celebrity or something, but like a bigger celebrity, because comedians could be considered celebrities. But
I think so.
It's because you're there and you're just there to acknowledge like an interaction with them. So like give them a hug. Like I think I might have said this before about on the podcast, but when you actually get to touch somebody else, it's like, oh, they're real. Because anytime you watch them or see them, they're not in the room with you. Like they're on a screen or they're in your ears. So when you actually get to meet somebody and like put your hands on them in a consensual way, it's like, oh shit, you get like I know I got like a high out of it. Yeah. I just felt kind of like bubbly afterwards. I was like, holy shit, I just got to fucking do that. And that was pretty cool. So I think with meet and greets, that's really the main thing, is that you just get to get the talent that you are a fan of right in front of you. And I mean, it's up to them if they want to hug you or shake your hand or whatever. But I feel like, especially comedians, they're down to whatever. They're grateful for their fans.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of fandom too with comedians, because especially nowadays with their podcasts, they're very intimate. It's not just their acts anymore that people are fans of. There's plenty of their fans of those podcasts that have never seen them do stand-up. They're just fans of them as people. So when you actually get to meet them, that's part of that colors the experience a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though it's one-sided for you, they don't know who the fuck you are. They don't know why you're there. You could be there because you're a fan of the stand-up, or nowadays because of the podcast. I've noticed there've been more meet and greets now too with comedians having so many successful podcasts. It's like there's people who actually want to meet you now.
Yeah.
Before, you would just go up on stage, do your set, and then leave. I don't know, it's different. So I don't know what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know. Because that's what's weird is because the other two people that may be coming with us are not fans. So I don't want them to go because they're included in the meet and greet. And it's like, I kind of want to say to them, like, you guys don't have to do this. If you don't, you can go to the bar and grab a drink. And like, me and you are going to do this real quick. It is quick. It's not, hopefully we're not too far behind in the line. And the Brea Improv's not that big. So it shouldn't be that long. But it's like, I don't want to bring two people into the meet and greet who don't really need to meet or greet. They're there for the show because they don't know anything about the comedian on stage.
Yeah.
They don't know about like his personal life. It's kind of a weird thing. So like, what do you do then? Because why would you? I don't know if that ever happens where you go into a meet and greet line and you know nothing about who you're meeting or greeting, because you have to pay extra to do that sometimes, not always.
Yeah. Have I ever done that?
Did you do that with Annie? Or you kind of knew who she was?
I didn't know like all about.
You didn't know
her.
like as much as I did.
Yeah.
But you knew like kind of who she was.
I knew. Yeah. So, like I knew enough to like talk about
something. Yeah. Not just like,
if anything, I'd ask about Esther Pavitsky or someone else.
Yeah.
Or like Chad and JT because I met them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you know who they are. So you have something to say and be like, oh, remember that time where you fell off your surfboard? I did that too. And it's like, and then you have that connection too.
Yeah.
And I don't know what these other two who might come with us.
Because who's the fourth one?
I also don't want to look bad. Our other fourth friend.
Is he going to come?
Probably not, but the invitation's out there.
Yeah.
But because if they, that will imprint on me, I think, if like we're a group and we go up there and it's just like do you guys want to get a picture? And I'm like, no, like, okay. It's awkward,
Yeah.
So that'll be in 2.5 weeks. That'll be fun.
Man.
We should go to more stand-up. I was going to ask if you want to go to Chase O'Donnell's. She's filming her special at the Boiler Room.
When is that?
I think the following week, like the 29th or something.
Probably.
Yeah. Those are cheap for tickets, and it's not like it's a smaller room, so it'll be chill. So you can do that. I'm down to just go to the Comedy Store more. The last few weeks, the line has been sick.
I know.
It's been like all the killers too. It's been like mid-show, like all the killers show up, and just like the other day it was like on the same lineup. It was Santino and Bobby Lee, Whitney, Esther was there, and Annie. And there was the sixth one I forget. And then like it was opened and closed by small comedians. Obviously they're paid regulars, so they have a following, but just smaller ish comedians. And it was like, fuck, that would have been a good show to go to.
Yeah. I think it'll be for a while longer. I do want to see Bert.
Yeah. He's always a poppin' though.
He's a poppin', I know.
He's rarely on the lineup.
Yeah, I feel like he just shows up.
You have to get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even too, like, you have to get the right room, because sometimes you'll be in the OR and it's like, oh, they're over in the main room right now. You're like, fuck! Can I leave and go there? No, you can't.
No. That'll be $200.
Yeah, every once in a while, one of them will like show up in the belly room. Like, in the belly room, like that's if you don't know, the belly room is just like, it's like up and coming comics, and they do open mics up there too. And they have like they do like nights up there. So like this night will be street I don't know. They have different like theme nights up there, so it's a little different. But yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I would like to go once a week, but because we don't have to.
I'd like to go once a week.
You can buy the tickets that are only $20 and just sit in the back of the room, which is fine. We don't have to buy like the stage tickets. They usually are the booths. You don't have to
the
do
booth. Mitzi's booth.
Mitzi's booth.
Ugh, never again. I mean,
it was fine.
It was cool.
Yeah, got to see Mark Maron.
Yeah,
got to have that moment.
Mark.
It's a big moment in my head, but not anyone else's, and especially not Maron's.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah, let's do it.
Mark. Damn. Have you been writing?
Well, because I was sick, no. Like
No.
I just had no motivation to do anything.
Let's see. Did I write anything? I did do a bunch of school stuff this week.
Did you record another podcast?
Well, I did that for my class.
Okay, because I got an email about it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I was like, because I control our email.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what? Like it said Clinton start our 4th grade something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's doing like a solo thing about school. That's kind of cool. I didn't listen to it.
Yeah. Well, it was just like an intro to a lesson.
Okay.
So it was this thing
it's for the kids to listen to.
Yeah, it was for the project.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And that just came to me, so I did it, and the group liked it, even though I'm like, oh, I forgot like a few things to do.
Yeah.
That's when I freak out. When I'm like, ugh, it's too late.
Yeah.
What's happening now? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's see.
What about your sketches? Have you thought of anything for what was our sketch? Lesbians in Space?
Oh, Lesbians in Space.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Lesbians in Space.
Because I haven't.
I mean, we'll figure something else out from that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just so much there with like, because like, or like the sketch about heaven.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that.
That we did like 15 minutes on that or more.
Yeah, well, it's because like
And we were just riffing.
I mean, that's when like anxiety breeds some kind of creative thing.
Yeah.
Because my legit anxiety is that like, what if heaven is real, and then what if I did something like messed up just a little bit? Like I have weird anxiety like that where it's like, did I like text the wrong person? Did I mispronounce it?
What was the thing you did that did not get you into heaven?
Yeah. Okay. What was that little thing? Because honestly, I would think it's going to be like a small thing.
It was more than one thing.
Yeah. It's going to be like you said Gerard. It was Jared.
Oh.
And I'll be like, well, I guess I don't want to go in anyways.
That's a dumb reason.
I guess it wasn't meant to be.
You don't want to go in there anyway. They're going to let you in for saying Jared.
Yeah. What good could it be up there? What's the best thing it could be? The best thing?
We've already done this.
Yeah. I know.
We did this for
so
like
new
15
bit.
minutes.
Well, new bit would be, I mean, I guess about being a single person.
Yeah.
So being a single person, because there's like this weird freedom to it where like
you tell me about being free when you're single.
So, well, it's like too much freedom.
Okay.
I personally think relationships are great because you do have another person to kind of keep you in check.
Okay.
Like, hey, you should probably clean up your room a bit so we could have sex. Or like, you should probably like wash your face because you have barbecue sauce on it.
Are these things that you don't do already?
Well, it's things that I'm careful about because I don't want to be like
the barbecue sauce
in a situation with someone and like I screwed it up because like I didn't throw away like a beer bottle or a can or something.
Oh.
Or like I left too many.
That sounds like a pretty small thing to
I don't know. I don't know. Like, but it would.
And at that point, fuck that chick. Oh, you didn't throw away your beer bottle?
Well, I guess
later. I don't know.
Yeah, but
okay, there we go.
But because there's this certain thing that happens when you're single for a while that like I don't know. I feel like there's like you get to be a little lazier than when you're with somebody. Because when you're with somebody, it's usually like even if like you're lazy together, you're probably at least. Even if like it's like the least productive thing ever, you're just like watching Netflix and you're just like cuddling or something. You have this other person to at least go and do something with at some point. So worst case scenario, you're just like hermits together.
Yeah.
And you don't come out of your hole for a while. But best case, like that person says, hey, you should probably change that shirt.
Yeah.
You know, like it's kind of like a correction thing.
It's always good to come out of your hole.
Yeah. Just come out. So in my head, like
or
I
come
need,
in the hole too.
Or just come in the hole. Just do it. Just make sure you're in California.
No, I know what
before
you mean.
do
It's nice to have somebody to be like, Hey, you want to just go to dinner? Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And then, yeah, because I mean, I guess it adds accountability when you have somebody.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, because I was listening to Cassie David's book, Larry David's daughter.
Yeah, you bring her up a lot.
I'm still listening to it. An audiobook.
Yeah.
And she talks about how like she gets so obsessed with dudes.
Yeah.
And I was like, shoot, I probably get too obsessed with girls. Because there's a point when you're single when you have to realize that like, oh, like you have to do this stuff to make you happy. It can't just be like getting a text from somebody. And it can't just be like, oh, I get the high of someone thinking like of just someone liking you.
Yeah.
But it was also funny because she's like some guys, they won't even like do the bare minimum anymore to get laid.
Like what?
And I'm like, oh, I've heard of that. Or she has this whole thing about condoms, how they don't want to wear them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh,
I was just like, oh god.
Never mind.
What?
Well, who wants to wear a condom?
Who wants to? I don't know.
It's I understand why you would want to wear one. Obviously, if you're having like not promiscuous sex, but if you're having sex with multiple people and you're not committed, sure, whatever.
But then
nobody wants to have sex with a condom.
No one wants it. But then there was also a time like it was like her birthday weekend, and she like stayed up till like 3:30 a.m. for this guy to possibly come over. Oh. And her friend was like, you shouldn't do that. Like, you're the director and they missed their audition.
Yeah.
You should hold people to their audition time.
Yeah.
So I thought that's a cool way, because I've had too many times where like I'm anticipating someone to text or to meet up and then they don't.
Oh yeah.
And then I cared, and I realized, I cared way too much about that.
Yeah, you don't have time for that.
I was
unless you want to be the proactive one and just be like, are we doing this or not? Just let me know. And then if they say no, like, cool. Or they say yes, and then they still don't show up. That's another story. But yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
I would never do that. Like, wait, no matter how horny I was, I would not wait till 3:30 in the morning.
What's the weird, like,
well, I would make sure, like, I'd be like, I'd make sure it was happening. And then, even then, I get tired. I don't know. I don't have like a set time, but if it's like, I'm not ever up that late for anything.
Yeah.
So
if I'm up that late, there's something wrong.
Yeah. Or I was out
and I didn't
late and something happened.
Drive,
yeah. Or like, I'm not in control of getting home
at
that time. That's whatever. But like, I think because I'm older now, it's just very like, is this happening or not? And it's usually not a problem. And it's usually not. So, yeah, no, of course not. 3:30 in the morning, that's absurd.
Ugh. I think I've done too much before for girls.
Yeah, there's times where you have to put yourself first. And it's more times than people realize, especially that one. That's like,
yeah,
that sucks.
3:30 a.m. What's the best outcome of that?
Yeah, and like, how good is it even going to be at 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah,
like,
it's not going to be
depending on how tired or drunk you are. Because usually, if the 3:30 in the morning hookup, somebody's drunk. One of those parties is drunk. So how good could it be? Or at least somewhat intoxicated. So how good is the sex going to be?
It can't be good.
And then
there's no way.
If you have to start your day tomorrow in like a couple hours.
That's what I don't get.
Like, waited up all night for some cheap ass sex, and then I gotta go to work or whatever you have to do. Yeah, fuck that.
No,
that's
never again.
That's some 21-year-old shit.
Yeah.
How old is the daughter?
She's like 28, 29.
Okay. Is she talking about?
She was the one who dated Pete Davidson.
I don't follow Pete Davidson.
You don't know?
Fucks.
Oh, you don't follow? No. You don't follow Pete Davidson?
No. Well, not who he's fucking.
His hit list?
No.
Of everybody that's ever.
I only know the Kim Kardashian one. That's because
that's just kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't follow his dick.
Oh.
So
the BDE.
Is that what it is?
The big dick energy.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think
I
you
believe
have,
you.
Do you think you have big dick energy?
Big dick energy?
Energy.
Yes.
Energy.
Do I think I
Energy.
have a big dick? Yes. I don't know. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
It was like, have you ever measured a cock? And it was totally unprompted. I don't know why I thought of that.
I don't know.
Because I haven't.
I'm just like, you haven't?
Moving on.
You were never
No.
that curious?
I'm never that curious because I don't want to know the answer. Because I'm comfortable with my size. First of all, you shouldn't be comfortable. You should always be comfortable with your cock size.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah, no insecurity.
It really doesn't matter. But I don't know. I don't need that question answered.
Mm-hmm.
And it is kind of strange sometimes when you hear about guys that do that. Like they'll measure their dick.
Mm-hmm.
Why? You like keep track of it? Does it like different times?
Yeah,
is it bigger or smaller?
They do they have like a
like the height board, but they have it for their dicks. They just get up and like put it on the paper and just start.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Or,
it's bigger today.
4'9".
4'9".
5'2".
Because like those numbers sound small to me. 4'9" and 5'2".
Well, like that was a visual.
If you're just
Like
listening, Clint made like the finger.
Well, because you know what they say. Like they say that it's like the
Who says this?
people have said it. Where it's your thumb to like the tip of your pointer finger is about how long your dick is.
So make the L shape and then put it on your head.
Yeah,
Like,
there it is.
If you're
You got a
doing
dick
that,
on your head.
you're using that to measure your dick.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, don't measure your dick.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't
like,
have to.
yeah, I get in like the awkward situation where like my friend will like bring up
Like I
that
just did?
I have a big one,
Oh,
and I'm always like,
who brought that up?
I don't know. You know who does it?
Oh, this person saw it and said that. Well, they had to have seen it. If they just bring up that it's big.
I mean, at some point.
Okay.
But I'm always like, ugh, because I don't know. I don't know how about because like Pete Davidson talks about that.
Is that part of his act?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I haven't seen his stand up.
Yeah,
I think
it's interesting.
I didn't really know about him until he exploded after that movie he did.
Mm.
He might have exploded before that, but
A little bit. He has such a weird trajectory.
I had heard about that movie because I don't really watch SNL either.
Yeah.
So I saw that he did that movie, and then I started hearing his name a lot. I was like, who the fuck? And then I saw him, and I was like, this kid looks like he's on heroin.
Mm-hmm.
He's really weird looking, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't really feel the need to look into his because he doesn't have a special or anything, does he?
He had a couple.
Oh, were they Comedy Central?
Yeah.
Oh,
But he has Crohn's.
What is that?
So that's why he looks like he's gonna
On heroin?
like pale. Yeah.
Oh, his eyes are all
Because
sunken
Crohn's
in.
is like where like your stomach doesn't
The indigestion
has some kind
problems.
of problem. Yeah.
Okay.
To
Maybe
where
I'll
like
check it out. Is
smoking weed helps him.
Look, is that the kind of jokes it is? Like
Yeah.
dick and weed jokes?
Dick, weed. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, oh, because I'm from Staten Island.
Yeah.
Ha. So he has the deep, like raspy voice.
Yeah. That
From
too.
New
When I heard
York.
him talk the first time, I did not expect that voice to come out of him. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He sounds 50.
Ooh, ooh.
He's like 25 or something. All right, maybe I'll check out his stand-up.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe check it out.
Whitney just released a new one on Netflix
Mm-hmm. Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
yesterday, I think. I watched like 15 minutes and then I ended up doing something else. But I ended up doing something else because some of the jokes are ones I've heard her do before on stage. So, because I saw her once in Brea and somewhere else I've seen her too. But the first couple jokes are ones that she had on those acts, and that was a couple years ago. It's like, oh, I hope this whole thing isn't just the same as when I saw her last. And there was like a couple new ones, but I just like I'll get back to this later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should check that out. I think that's Fahim has a new special out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like his different acts at the store. He does one set 115 in the belly room and then the main room and the OR, and then just put it together like a special. That's it.
Dang.
I thought I know of that's recent.
I watched the Gerard Carmichael.
Oh, okay.
That was interesting because he's like, it's such like a mellow stand-up set.
Yeah.
Where it's very calm. And he talks with long pauses.
Oh.
So it's like, oh.
Does he do that for the punchlines or for the whole thing?
Kind of like throughout.
Yeah.
Because he'll talk about his family. Because he'll say like how, because the special is about how he doesn't like his first name. Mm-hmm. And he's always avoided it. Like he would pay off the people who ran the yearbook at school to keep his name out of the yearbook. To go by his middle name, Gerard.
Oh, what's his name?
It's a weird name.
You can't even say it.
I can't even. Yeah. It's that weird because he only says it at the end.
Okay.
But his special is named after it.
Oh, okay. Is it on Netflix?
HBO Max.
HBO Max. Okay. You know whose stand-up I've been watching a lot of lately is Marilyn Rice Cobb. Mm-hmm. She's really funny. She's like awkward funny. You know who that is, right?
Yeah, because she's from 24.
Yeah, she was on 24.
Yeah.
But she was a stand-up before that. Like that's like, I think, actress stand-up, but I think wants to more known for her stand-up.
It's just so different from her character on 24.
That's what she says too. Like sometimes I saw her on YMH like a while back, and then she's been on Rogan before too, like years ago. And she's just like, the people that come to the stand-up shows think they're going to get that character on 24, and that's not what it is. She's just so does like long pauses, like you were saying about what's his name, and just says like weird looks at everybody, and like hits her punchlines kind of funny, like funny ways, you know. But she's pretty funny. I don't know that she has any specials that, like, I think they're on Comedy Central, so it's kind of hard to find them because I don't think they put theirs out on anything, right?
Maybe not.
So I just watch clips on YouTube, but I've been watching her a lot. It's funny. Like that kind of humor.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Schultz's special just came out too. But you have to pay for it.
Why?
Because they didn't. I forget the reason. He's been on like every podcast the last week.
One of those.
He was on Whitney, and then he was on Tim Dillon. He was on Whiskey Ginger. He was on Rogan. He's been doing the rounds because he's in LA. But I think they were going to release it, and then he made a joke about a Twitch streamer, and they didn't like it, so they told him to cut it. And he was like, no. So then they didn't release it. And I guess I don't know the story, but he like acquired it for himself, and then he's releasing it uncut through Moment House. But you have to pay like $10 for it. So
it's kind of a bummer.
I mean, it sounds like, oh, that's a bummer, but it's like you would pay to see a show. It's not that weird of a concept.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. And because I've paid for the live shows when Trash Tuesday did a live show, I paid. I pay for YMH's live shows. I just watch those. So it's never like, fuck, I paid $10 to watch an hour long. Well, those are podcasts, live podcasts, but this will be an actual stand-up show.
Yeah. Yeah, in that perspective, it's like, oh, we've paid way more.
Yeah,
to see it.
Yeah, to see a show. It's like it's only $10 to see a show. Fuck yeah, and I can sit at home.
Yeah.
Even though it's cool to go to the clubs and watch them, but I'd rather do that than watch it at home. What am I saying? It's not cool to watch it at home. I want to be in that dark club that smells like piss.
Surrounded by all those people you don't know.
All those drunks, myself included.
Yeah.
Like waitresses bumping into the back of you, reaching their arm over for you, in front of you for your drink.
You have to order something that you probably don't want. Yeah. It's not the drink you would drink.
2-drink minimum. That'll be $20 for
$20 for like
an extremely strong whiskey on the rocks,
or the hoppiest hoppy beer.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to get trashed here, but it's gonna happen because I have to drink these drinks. I wonder if you can just buy them and just leave them on the table. Nah, that's stupid. Why would you do that? What am I saying?
I don't know.
Cut that.
Cut that.
Oh yeah, I've been watching a lot of the It's Always Sunny pod as well. Oh, I found this pod last night. Did you know that Boy Meets World does a podcast?
Oh, they just started one.
The
I haven't
end of
listened to
last
it.
month, end of June.
Yeah.
And it's Topanga, Sean, and Eric, the actors. I know their names. Ryder Strong, Danielle Fishel, and Will Friedle. But they do one. They're doing like those watch along shows. Like New Girl does one. It's Always Sunny does one. True Blood did one. Where the cast watches a show and they just talk about like what happened behind the scenes. I started listening to that earlier today. I found it last night before bed, and I listened to it this morning while I was working from home. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool because like I remember growing up in Boy Meets World. Like I remember it was TGIF. You watch it and be that show and like Sabrina and like whatever other shows around that time. And it's kind of cool hearing those stories from the cast. And they even mentioned too, like why they say like Ben Savage is not on it. They're like we try to get him on, but he said it's not really his thing. I was like, the way they explained it was like, because I feel like they made like this, they did like a FAQ kind of part of it. And like the first question was about Ben Savage, and they're like, we have to address why he's not here. And it's like, he just doesn't want to do it. And they do a good job explaining why, but I think if you like the show, because they're talking about the first season, and I haven't watched that first season since I was a little kid.
Oh,
So, because it came out in 92 or 93. So I remember when it came out, and the way they talked about the first episode, I was like, holy shit. Because they went like beat by beat through the scenes. I was like, I remember all of those scenes and everything that happened. And they would talk about like, there's this one thing they said Ben Savage, he couldn't say how come. He says how come because he's a little kid. Kids talk weird sometimes. And I was like, I remember hearing that when I was a little kid and being like, how come? What is he doing? What is that? What is he doing? I was like, oh shit, they just brought that up on the show. Like, that's a thing. I think check that out if you
I love Boy Meets World. I've rewatched it a few times.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to watch it now. I watched an episode the other day. I was like, oh.
Some of it's kind of cringy.
And it was one of the seasons where they're it was one of the college seasons too. And I thought about it from like my 30-year-old brain was like, why are these idiots taking themselves so seriously? They're like 19, 18, 19. They're like, we're going to get married and blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, everything that happens is like the biggest deal. And like the music gets all like dramatic too.
Yeah, especially Corey and Topanga.
All of them. It's all of them. It's not just them. It's them with the relationship stuff, but like everyone else. And like, you guys are taking yourselves way too seriously. And I remember my dad would say that too when he watched the show, or when the show would be on, I was watching it, and he was like, these kids are taking themselves way too seriously at that age. And I was like, shut up, Dad. You don't know. And now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, they are taking themselves way too seriously. And this show is kind of, I can see why kids like it, but it's kind of hard to watch as an older person. You're just like, get over yourselves, you guys. God. You should be drunk right now.
Why aren't they drinking?
You guys are like 19, 20. You should be drunk somewhere. Not fucking, worrying about the future, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, and marriage that young?
Yeah. Yeah, they get proposed
18,
to
19?
at their high school graduation. They propose, and it's like, what? That's insane.
Crazy.
And it's played so seriously, too. And even the parents are like, you guys aren't ready for this. And it'd be like, just tell them no, they can't. What are they going to do? Like,
you pay for this.
Yeah, you're throwing the wedding. They're not going to pay for it. They have no money. They don't have jobs.
Come on, Mr. Matthews.
Yeah. We don't want to teach kids this lesson. They can just get married at 17 without a job. But yeah. Boy Meets World podcast.
Boy Meets World.
For a second, I was like, what are you talking about Boy Meets World?
We're at an hour, 9 minutes. How much more do you want to do?
You can probably wrap it up.
Want to wrap it?
Yeah, we usually do an hour.
Wrap it up. So what are we looking forward to by the time we have the next pod?
What are we looking forward to?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, just as always, striving to grow, striving to create, and to just striving for consistency.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which I feel like all three of those are easy strives, easy goals to go to. I'm just excited that we're back in the studio.
Yeah, this feels
To
good.
tell you the truth, it was a rough 2 weeks. And I was talking to someone about it earlier today, one of my coworkers, with my manager, coworker. But she had brought up that her and her friend wanted to do a podcast about just being like single girl, because she's my age, about just being single when you're a woman that age. And she's like, but we don't really want anyone to like listen to it. We just want to have like something recorded to talk to. And then I told her like this, like what I'm doing, like just go do it. Like it's fun, and it's actually kind of therapeutic to just go and talk. And I'm excited to be back here, and I'm excited to start writing sketches again, because I had like a good boost of momentum, and then we got kicked out. We lost our last place.
We broke up with Daniel.
Yeah, and then I got sick, and it just like, now that we're back, and we're actually back. Because I kept telling myself we'll be back.
Yeah,
we'll come back. Now that we're actually back, I feel reinvigorated.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. What about you?
I want to stay consistent. I want to not be. I want to do more performing.
Yeah.
More like, because this has been like the biggest boost to go do stuff again.
Yeah. You gotta get those muscles working again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they atrophy if you don't use them. Especially performance.
Just lose it. Yeah. I feel pretty good about that.
Even at the start of this show, I felt, I didn't feel like, it just was weird. It's like, I haven't done this in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But here we go.
We found it.
Yeah. So that's it. Episode in the can. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching if you're on YouTube.
Ooh.
Thanks for the comments too. I like seeing the comments.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
On the 30s.
See ya.